Hello everyone, my name is Bidemi Nelson and you're welcome to another edition of the Footstep Shows powered by the Shield of Innocence Initiative. In our last episode, we talked about the coronavirus and what we can do to stay safe and not fall sick. If you did not watch that episode, please look up the link below to have full knowledge of what we discussed. One of the things we talked about in our last episode was hand washing, and today we will delve more into it. Why is it so important to wash our hands? Sometimes, with the amount of sensitization going on about hand washing, we think we've not really been doing such a good job at it. Now today we go just wash our hands. But then, let's expand further about hand washing. Please join me in my interview with Dr. Yetunde Olagbuji as we continue to talk about sanitization and hand washing. Thank you, Dr. Yetunde. Thank you for having us again. This time we want to talk about hand washing because that's the message of the season. Wash your hands all the time. But you know, when it comes to hand washing, there are some rules that are a bit silent that a lot of people don't know about. So we want to get clarification on these things. Why is it important to wash our hands frequently, especially at this time?
Okay. Thank you very much. Hand washing is very key. As a matter of fact, it will not only prevent coronavirus, it will prevent all other diseases. So, like I said, it's one of the key household practices that one should do, frequently. Your hands is a major part of the body that we use to touch so many places, and we still come back, touch our hands, touch our face. We use it for all manner of things. We shake people, so many things. And so at this critical point in time, I'll say that aside from washing of hands, we also need to restrict some of those things that we do, like shaking people, hugging people. We need to really reduce it. So when we wash our hands, which is very vital, because when you want to eat, you have to use your hand. Even if you are using cutlery, somehow you still have to touch your mouth. Maybe when you want to eat your meat, so it's very vital that the hand must always be kept clean. So it's not only when you want to wash your hands now, the common practice when you go to the toilet, you wash your hands. When you have contacts with either you touch any surface or whatever right now, it's critical that you must wash your hands, or you use your sanitizer, your hand sanitizer, just to keep the hand safe from organisms before you are able to wash your hand.
Now let's look at hand sanitizers. I remember I had a conversation with a doctor, and I asked him, I said, what if your hands are visibly dirty and there's no water, there's no soap, and you have a hand sanitizer? How effectively will that hand sanitizer work for you?
Well, the hand sanitizer, if it's a very good one, will kill the germs. Your hands are dirty, fine, but it will kill the germs that can cause diseases for you. So it's just to ensure that you are safe, don't infect yourself before you eventually have time or you have access to water to wash your hands. Of course, I can say that it cannot replace hand washing. It can't, because using soap and water, you are very sure that both the dirt, the germs, everything is washed away. Hand sanitizer cannot wash away dirt. It can only help you to kill germs and prevent you from infecting yourself till you are able to wash your hands. So that's not the difference. So you don't have access to water, but you don't want to be carrying organisms or germs about. Just use your hand sanitizer, then find a place to wash your hands.
Now that brings me to another critical question. Here in Nigeria, we have the challenge of potable water and clean water. Now, with many communities and people not having access to clean water, how do they imbibe these hand washing practices properly?
Well, I believe that there should be no, yes, we might not have access to potable water, but there are ways where we can, the water that is available, there are ways we can purify them. Talk about boiling. You know, if you don't have access to potable water, where as in whereby the ones you have in your homes, you can boil water at least to purify it. If you are talking about rural area now, the means of purification is boiling. You boil before you use. So if they have it boiled, you're sure that 99% of the germs have been destroyed by that heat. Then you can now use it.
Thank you. Now, what other things do we need to clean our hands apart from the hand sanitizers and soap? What other things can we use? I hear about because of the level of demand for hand sanitizers, there's a reduced supply and there's a proliferation of fake hand sanitizers in town. So somebody was talking about methylated spirit. You know, what about that?
Well, people are even producing their own sanitizers themselves. So because of the scarcity of the sanitizer that we have, you know, they are not available. People have mopped it up, and the ones that are available are even expensive. So some use the latest spirit though, but I still want to say that none of these can replace hand washing. Water and soap, they are still the best option. Sanitizer should not replace water. It's not a substitute for it. No. It's still washing of your hands with water and soap. Any form of soap will do. So it's still critical. So I will say that regardless of several other things that are available right now, I will say hand washing is still the key.
Thank you, ma'am. Now, when we wash our hands, we are being told when you look at several advertisements, they say wash your hands under running water, and yes, we get that, because when the water is running, it washes off the germs and all of that. But what about communities where they don't have running waters from taps? Are you saying if I scoop water in a bowl, are you saying I can't get clean hands? You know, what exactly is that about?
Well, the best that one will prescribe is running water, because you expect that maybe when you fetch water in a bowl, in a bucket, and you know there is a tendency that you might not replace that water as often as possible. You'll be waiting for it to finish, so you have germs introduced inside that bucket, and you just be washing your hands again with the germs. So that's why it's not advisable. So, but we are aware that there are places where you don't have access to running water, particularly even in some hospitals, you may not have access to running water. They ensure that they change that water frequently, because that's the danger, that you don't want any germs to have settled in the water. You know, the more it takes, you know, the more you have the standing water, the more sometimes you have germs and all that being introduced in the water. It's as if you are using germs to wash your hands. So as much as possible, try to change that water frequently, so that what we are really afraid of, we don't get it introduced into the water. So that's the lessons. But above all, it's still running water
and soap. And then when we wash our hands, like you said, it seems the hands are what we use the most among our body parts. Now, when you wash these hands, because we've gotten rid of the germs after washing, then what next? You know, how then do we continue to ensure that we are safe, even though we have washed hands? You know, what about surfaces people will still come in contact with? You know, what else can we do to ensure that the hands we have washed isn't a waste of time?
Well, that's why I said, because our hands are almost always engaged. You will just find something to do. You know, that's human being nature. You know, whether you are quiet, it doesn't have to do anything with it. So it's not, you don't just wash your hand once and just rest. You keep washing it. I want you to touch any surface, particularly now that we know that coronavirus can be deposited on surfaces of, you know, it can be the door, it can be anywhere. So as you touch any surface and you know you want to touch your face or any of the areas, the mucous membrane, where you know that the virus can get inside your body, you must be conscious of it. Someone said we touch our faces, nothing like that, 20 times in an hour. An average person touches his or her face about 20 times in an hour. So you just have to really be conscious of it. So of course you can't be going, you know, to wash your hand. That's why the sanitizer should just stand. Once you want to touch your face, just apply the sanitizer before you touch any part of your face. But you can't say you wash your hand once, maybe when you're having your bath, you just wash it once and you feel that's okay for the day. No, you have to increase the frequency because of the prevailing condition that we have at the moment.
I have one more question about hand washing. When you wash your hand too frequently, is there any damage that can be done to the skin?
No, there's no damage as long as you don't use a corrosive agent to wash it. Maybe they say it's soda. I don't know what it contains, but I think it has a corrosive effect. Apart from that, if you use a liquid soap or any of the normal toilet soap, it has cause nothing, no harm to you. So it's a practice we should, even after this epidemic of coronavirus, it's something that we should cultivate and be washing our hands every time. Thank you.
Thank you. Now we've had it all. Washing of hands is non-negotiable, and as we all know, it's important you wash your hands with soap and water, and try and avoid agents or soaps that contain corrosive substances. So like she has said, toilet soap is cheap, it's affordable, it's everywhere. Please get that and take good care of yourself. Hand washing is one of the most stringent things to do at this time, and let's put it to heart. There you have it. The doctor has expounded on why you should wash your hands. But then, it would not do justice to the topic except you have a practical view of how hand washing should be done. Come along with me and let's take a look at how our hands can be washed properly. I have liquid soap in my hands now. We want to see how we can wash our hands properly. The first thing you do is to rub the soap in between your palms. Then rub the back of your palms. Then rub in between your fingers. And then rub your thumb. And then for your fingernails, rub it against your palm. And then rub your wrist. Make sure your soap lathers up. If you have a tap like this at home, I suggest you use your elbow to open it. Make soap lather. There you have it. Washing your hands under running water. And then you wipe those hands with a napkin. And that's it. You can also wash your hands using a bar soap. And then if you have this kind of tap, you can open the tap with your hands at first. Lather up with your soap. And then when you are done, you get a paper towel or a tissue paper under your armpit. Wipe your hands and use the tissue to close the tap, and then you dispose the tissue. So if you don't have running water, you can also wash your hands by improvising. Get your soap, rub your hands, and then get somebody to pour water. Get somebody to pour water in your hands and you begin to rinse. So this would substitute for those who don't have running water coming out of their tap. You can also wash your hands under running water by using a bowl of water like I'm doing now, and you will still have clean hands. And like we have advised, washing your hands must be done properly to wash away every germ and every disease-causing organism from the hands. And there we have it. Our hands are clean. Then you wipe it with a tissue paper or your towel or napkin, and you are good to go. Thank you. Now we've washed our hands. But then I know you might have a question, and that question is, when exactly should we wash our hands? So you wash your hands under these scenarios. First, when you come back from a public outing, please wash your hands. When you are taking care of a sick person, when you are done taking care of the person, wash your hands. When you are sneezing and coughing, wash your hands. When you use the toilet, or you clean up for a little child, or you clean the cages of an animal, wash your hands. Also, when your hands are visibly dirty, wash your hands. Before and after handling food, please make sure you wash your hands. And then, when you feel the need to wash your hands, wash those hands. Remember, you can wash your hands using toilet soap or liquid soap. And then if there is no water and soap available, you can use the hand sanitizers. And like the doctor has said, using a hand sanitizer can never substitute washing your hands with soap and water. Always wash your hands with soap and water. I'll see you next time. This is Bidemi Nelson, and this is the Footsteps Show, powered by the Shield of Innocence Initiative. Please like, follow, and share, and also subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you. I'll see you again.